What up, fellow viewers? I'm having love. I need this banana. So, we hope everyone's been doing great. We've been well. Alright guys, the reason why it's so awkward is because we're talking about something that I normally don't like talking about. I actually try to hide it from people. I know I hid it from Karen when we first met. And she had no idea. So, I'm actually having a low right now. And if you don't know what that means, yes, shocking, I know. I'm diabetic. Yeah. Type 1. And this is the first time I ever did a video about this or really wanted to open up about it, because I never let it stop me from living my life other than like diet and stuff like that. But that's also because I like to work out, but which is, I guess, extra motivation.
4, 3, 2, 1.
But in all realness, like, being diabetic can be very hard on the body. I know it's definitely been hard for me, even though I try to say that it's not. I used to take shots, okay? So, I used to have like syringes, and I would look like a junkie when I'd be like in the parking lot at, you know, a McDonald's, just as a poor example. I would get my vial, and I would have a syringe, and people would see me do this next to a dumpster with my car parked, and I probably would get judged. But I was diabetic, okay? What? I've been diabetic since the age of 7. So I was a juvenile diabetic. Yeah, when I first caught it when I was 7, it was a pretty dramatic experience for any child. It was kind of like a shock to everyone. My mom was definitely shocked, and I don't think anyone was like expecting it. I was just like a healthy kid. I didn't have a bad diet. My mom fed me really well. You know, I wasn't like eating junk food and scarfing down like sodas or anything crazy like that. It was never like, you know, a poor diet that led to it. But one day I just got really skinny, and my mom noticed, and she was like, yo, there's something wrong. I got really skinny. I don't have photos, but I got like my ribs, everything was like sucked in. You could see a lot of my bones, and it was nasty. I also started drinking everything in the house, like everything. I started drinking, like, I remember one day I drank like a whole 2-gallon of milk carton for some reason. Well, not carton, because the cartons are 1 gallons, but I drank the jug.
You just drink it like that?
The whole 2-gallon jug. Yeah, of milk. I didn't know why, but I was drinking everything. I did find out later why. Yeah, and I was having like other problems too. Alright. So here I am, 7-year-old. Here I am, a 7-year-old, and I never wet the bed. Ever. I've never wet the bed. Not honest to truth. Yes, I've never wet the bed. So here I am, like a 7-year-old, and like I'm starting to wet the bed, and my mom's like, "What the like? What is going on?" It was like, no, it was another symptom. It was like bedwetting, and I never told anybody about that. Karen never knew that. And yeah, that was like a symptom of it. But anyway, my mom takes me to the hospital. They ran some tests, and they found out my glucose level was at like 690. So they
what's the regular for glucose?
Glucose is regular glucose. Blood sugar for anyone should be between 80 to 120. Like, you don't want it to be any higher than 120 after you eat a meal or anything like that, and you don't want it to be lower than 80. So you want to stay in that target range. But yeah, mine was like 690. I remember being in the hospital, and like, I've never been afraid of death, but I remember looking into my mom's eyes and asking her if I was gonna die. It was pretty tough on my mom. I don't know how she stood so strong to be able to be like, no, you're not gonna die. But I'm sure that like really took a major toll on her as a parent. Because here I was, a 7-year-old kid, and I never had to wake up every so often to take shots, you know, like I had to take like 3 shots a day, and they were constantly monitoring my glucose levels because it was so high in the beginning. Another part of the symptoms was like I wasn't only drinking a lot, I was peeing a lot. I was peeing everywhere. Hence the bad wedding. Wasn't a fan of needles back then. I'm still not a fan now. I don't think you ever become a fan, but eventually you're like, yo, this is what I gotta deal with on the regular. I gotta stick these syringes and constantly stab myself in order for me to sustain life. And yeah, it leaves its scar tissue. Yeah, I'm very subconscious about the scar tissue that it leaves. But yeah, I could show you guys some of it. I have some underneath right there. And these are called insulin pockets. And it's like pockets where insulin has stored itself. That's why it's so important that you rotate your sites all the time so you don't get like spots like these. I have them in my hips really bad. But yeah, like that's basically like a pocket right there. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I also have them in my stomach really bad. And like no matter how much I work out or do anything like that, like they'll never get removed. I have to get them surgically removed. Diabetes affects a lot of parts of the body. It affects your eyes, you know, your organs, your liver, your kidneys. It affects everything. So it's really important that you watch what you eat, work out on the regular, do whatever you can to you know, stay healthy. One of my greatest fears once I found out I was diabetic was like I could lose a foot or I could lose a leg. And it's scary. Karen could tell you about some scary times. You want to share it with them?
The time when we got scared. Well, I got scared.
The first time this ever happened to Karen, I always told her, I was like, this could happen to me. If you don't get a good spot, especially in that scar tissue, you want to avoid that because insulin won't absorb well in those areas. So what will end up happening is it'll like back build and then it'll hit you all at once. So then you take it right before you go to sleep. It can hit you all at once, and if you're asleep, then you won't know.
Well, it was like 3 a.m. in the morning.
And mind you, we were just like new parents.
Oh yeah, Mia was just born. Mia was like 1 month old. And so I was sleeping, and then he was sleeping, and I felt the bed shaking. I just started feeling like everything was shaking in the bed, and I was like, what the hell? So I woke up, and then I looked at him, and he was just shaking. Really bad.
Yeah, I was having a low.
Yeah, so I woke up and I thought he was having a bad dream, so I was like, Matthew, wake up. And then he wasn't waking up, so I was just like, Matthew, wake up. And then
I woke up and I couldn't see. My vision was like I had to cover my eyes because Karen turned on the lights and I couldn't see, and I automatically knew what was wrong, so I told Karen to go get some Gatorade.
But we had sugar-free Gatorade, so I was feeding him the Gatorade, and I wasn't doing anything because
there was no sugar.
It was sugar-free,
so it was sugar-free Gatorade, and it was funny because I was like, she's pouring it down me, and I'm like,
he's all having a seizure, and I'm
like
pouring it down his throat.
I'm twitching and stuff, and then I'm like, wait, this is, you poured like 3 things of Gatorade, and I have my eyes that are still closed down my throat, and I don't feel like anything's happening.
And then so I called the ambulance because I wasn't able to get his thing out. He was still he was still out of it. And there was this one time where he was active, and then all of a sudden he just passed out. I don't know if he passed out. Did you pass out?
What?
At that moment.
What moment are you talking about?
All of a sudden he stops responding. He just stopped, like he just like knocked out, and I was like, what the hell? So I didn't know what was going on because it was my first time dealing with this. So I thought he was dead. I called his mom. I was like, he's not waking up. And then his mom started crying. She was like, no. And I was like, what the hell? So when I hung up with his mom, I slapped him a little bit. I was trying to get him to wake up, so I slapped him a little bit, and then he wasn't waking up. Then finally he responded.
I think he responded, why are you slapping me?
Yeah. So he responded, and then after he was,
we can laugh about it now, but at the time it was like really scary.
And then the ambulance was taking forever to get there, and then I ran out and I was like, hurry up! And they finally came in, and then it was solved.
we could laugh about that stuff now just because I have like that kind of a sense of humor. Wish a part of me obviously, if you have something like this, you wish you never had it. But it's not the end of the world if you do catch it. You just have to be positive about it, and you just have to be able to not let it take over you. That's the best advice I can give. Yeah, it's tough, and it hasn't been an easy road. I know I'm talking like it's like, oh, like, but honestly, that's just my positive attitude. Don't let it get you down. Don't let it discourage you. Don't let it hinder you. Anything, whether it's diabetes or something else that you may have, just don't let it get in the way. You're your biggest obstacle, and the best thing for you to do if you have diabetes or anything that might be, that you feel might be stopping you, is to overcome it. Back. Don't let nothing hold you back. Like, you want to work out or whatever, then work out. You want to go get the girl of your dreams, go get the girl of your dreams. Have a career in something else, then just go do it. Like, don't let anything hold you back. Don't be embarrassed of it. Like, I remember, like, I don't really tell people, and when I do tell people, they're really surprised. They're like, what, you're diabetic? Like, you take care of yourself so well.
Honestly though, I feel like if you are diabetic, you should tell people, because then they're not gonna know what's going on with you if something happens to you.
Yeah.
So you should tell people.
Always tell people you're diabetic. Tell someone, because if something does go wrong, you want to make sure that you have people there that can help you. So yeah, that's pretty much the life of a diabetic. If you guys want to comment, any tips, any other diabetics out there that are viewing this that can relate, and you guys got any tips on injection sites or on diets or on exercise regimes or how you deal with your diabetes, be sure to comment in the bottom. Let me know how you guys deal with it, because it's definitely something that we could maybe help each other out, and I'll comment back and I'll say something. If you like this video, be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to watch more videos from the Cerna family. Subscribe, like, share, and like I said, comment below if you guys have any tips for me.
And for me too.
And for her too. And yeah, we appreciate y'all watching. Stay tuned and be sure to subscribe for more videos. Peace.